All right, welcome back to Hello Port Harcourt. Good morning. My name is Jude. Now, our final conversation for this morning, just before we have the major news, and obviously before Gabriela walks on here with her 25-inch shoes to take you on the sunny side up, we are talking about security. If you get on our Facebook page, there's already some comments I'm going to read shortly. It's all about security recruitment. Security recruitment. Now, let me quickly get this page up for you. I was having challenges getting this information up on my page here. Let's see. Let me just get there. Military. Yeah. Okay, all right, let's see. Countries. Here we go. Okay, all right. So it's coming up, and I'll be able to give you the information shortly. Now, yesterday we had a conversation about the NYSC, and I made mention, I'm very, very sure I made mention that, you know, in this country we don't have a conscription. All right, so it's not a draft. In the US it's called the draft. It's mandatory enlistment of people into the national service. Most often, you know, some would say even as slaves performing the military service. In times of war, there's a draft. If you remember, Muhammad Ali lost his belt, or he had his belt taken, stripped from him, because he refused to go to war for the US. That was the Korean War, if you remember, right? Was it the Korean or the Vietnam? Sorry, the Vietnam. Yes, Vietnam. Yes, apologies for that. All right, so that was what he went through. You know, he didn't want to do that, so he lost his title. It was taken from him. Now, our conversation this morning has to do with making our security outfits, in whatever form or guise they are in, more attractive to Nigerians. Now, I have to say this. At some point in our history, in our recent history, talking about 1995, probably up until, you know, 2015 or maybe 2010, a lot of Nigerians, I remember as a young person, a lot of Nigerians really wanted to get into the military. If it was in the Nigerian Army, the Navy, I know I have uncles. I have some uncles I've never met in my life, but I know they served their country under the Nigerian Navy. I have cousins who are also in the naval teams right now across the country, serving their country right now. So you see, at some point in time, either because of the presence and what many Nigerians felt was the attraction, the lure of being a military officer, many Nigerians had careers in the Nigerian military, either in the Nigerian Army, Navy, or the Air Force. There are certain professions that seem to always spark a lot of attention and pull. Medicine comes into mind very readily. Engineering, nursing, architecture. All of these courses, and let's not forget, law. All of these disciplines I just mentioned gets a chunk of the recruitment of the JAM request in this country year in, year out. Now, what is interesting, military services, whether military, police, or paramilitary services, are sometimes desired because of the perks that they offer. Take, for example, in the US, for example, on many Western or industrialized nations. Obviously, as a police officer, there are some perks to the job. There are some tax exemptions in some states for police officers. Police officers are not paid oil company money, like some people like to believe. No. But they are paid. But even there, they'll tell you, well, the pay is not great because you have budget cuts here and there. Now, having said this, in recent times, I have been wondering, do we still have the drive that we did have 15, 20 years ago to become a police officer, to become a soldier, to become a naval officer or an Air Force officer, either a pilot or just work in the Nigerian Air Force? Is that drive still there? The question is, what was motivating that drive? Now, back then, some people said, well, a lot of people were going into the police force because there were no jobs. Growing up, I heard stories that if your son was too stubborn, they would push him to NDA so that the soldiers will hopefully correct his excesses and then he becomes a soldier. But the case is not the same in some of these countries I made mention of. It's not unusual to find a 3-year-old, a 5-year-old in any of these countries, whether it's in the UK, it's in Finland, it's in Russia, or it's in Germany. If you ask them, it's not unusual to hear a child say, "Oh, I want to be a firefighter. I want to be a police. I will want to work for the military. I want to be a soldier, like my daddy, like my grandfather." There are some families that are families just the way we have families of lawyers, families of doctors, families of accountants and teachers, also families of builders. There are families of military officers. They're often called military family. Father, soldier; son, soldier; second son, soldier; first daughter, Navy. All of them in the military. It is the only thing they know. So I asked this morning, what can or should we be doing to make our security services attractive? And this has to do not with money. Because in all of these places I just mentioned, it's not that the money is great. There are perks. In the US military, for example, you get to be trained. You get to go to school. However, you still have to pay, albeit a subsidized amount, just because you're a soldier in the reserve. Yesterday, looking at our conversation, I looked up the charts and found out that the Nigerian military had a certain number. I don't want to give exact figures now so I don't scare anybody. But what was shocking is this. In the US, in China, in what is your country that gets to see? South Korea, I think North Korea as well. In Russia, you had active military personnel of about, like say, 1,000 persons or 200,000 persons or 300 or 600,000 persons. Active military personnel. But they had in their reserves, ladies and gentlemen, in some cases, up to 1 million people in the military reserves. You know what that means? That means at the slightest call, boom, they can call 1 million people to come forth and defend their country. 1 million people. How can individuals be encouraged to join the military? Some would say in this country, maybe there is still a push because recently from the News Agency of Nigeria, I saw a very interesting message. The Department of State Services, was a story, DSS, says it is not recruiting and does not own a Facebook account. You know what that means? That means somebody was scamming Nigerians into getting a place into the Department of State Services, aka DSS or SSS. So that means some people still want to become soldiers, security personnel in this country. Would you want to be one of them? Do you think we can depend on you to get into the security system and change the face and the perception of our security forces in the next 5-10 years? What can we do to make it more attractive for Nigerians? 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003, 0817-923-0007, and then the female caller line is 0817-923-0009. If you get on Facebook and Twitter, we have the messages up already at Nigeria Info PH, at Nigeria Info PH. And when you call in, do well to turn down the volume of your radio set. Hello, Port Harcourt. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Welcome, please.
While growing up, I had a friend. All his life, in fact, he said he wants to be a soldier.
Mm.
He has had that ambition for all his life. Now, I have a second friend that has the same ambition of becoming a soldier. He even went for some training in Kaduna.
Okay.
And maybe did not succeed and came back. He was crying bitterly that he didn't get the job. And even as it is today, at 40-something, he still wishes to be a soldier. So that has been so people. There's a lot of people that have that ambition to be a soldier, even without. They are not even talking about the pay or the condition of services, but they just love the job. So these are the people that I think if you recruit in the army, they will do well.
Well. Well, but the problem is, if someone goes into the NDA, for example, and doesn't meet the requirements, in all fairness, they can't take such a person, despite the passion that he or she might have. Hello, Port Harcourt. Good morning, please.
Yeah, hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, so I want to share a personal experience. I majored in computer science.
Yes.
Master's also computer science. But I've always not the ambition of being a soldier. I've also tried to go that route as much as I can. I've done everything possible, done the registrations. In fact, during the recruitment, I make sure I always meet the physicals. I do everything and I'm supposed to pass with flying colors. But when the short list comes out, I'm never there. I've done this 3 consecutive years. I think the issue is not the fact that people don't want to join the military. I think the government is not open enough to give people the opportunity, people who deserve it, the chance to actually do these things. I use myself as an example. The days we go there for these recruitment trials, the way they treat you, a graduate, you sit on the floor, you're there for hours, maltreated like you're a prisoner or a slave. I don't even understand. Is that all part of the recruitment process also? And then after all said and done, you still don't make it. So I think it's not that there are people that are not willing to do this. I think the government has not set down the facilities properly to ensure that they actually accommodate people like us that are willing and ready to do this. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. So there are some Nigerians who are still willing to get into the various forces, the Nigerian, the military or paramilitary in the country, whether it's police, whether it's NCS, NSCDC, or Civil Defense Corps. Yes, that's it. Or Navy. There are still Nigerians who want to. The question is, how do we get them as curious or as interested as before? This last caller said, well, he's tried, he's done everything, but shortlist was done, wasn't there. What exactly happened? Hello, Port Harcourt. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
I think for me, I just so that the recruitment for the military is nothing voluntary. It's just voluntary. You can as well decide to opt out and never want to join the military, because supposing it's by force, I think so many persons will be so sad for them to join the military in Nigeria.
Yeah, it's not by force. Yes, it's true. It's voluntary.
Yes, it's not by force. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So I'm very happy for that. I have not dreamt becoming a military man, and I will never want to be a military man in Nigeria. The truth is that the method of recruitment is so odd, and the risk involved is going because you must know But when you die as a military person, because you must face some kind of shooting with the mission, somebody must ask you. So if you die, what happens to you, your family, and those that belong to you? So with this, so many persons are not happy and they will not want to join the military. Yep. Unlike what happens in the overseas, where if you die today, you know that in your family, maybe your wife and children, they are well secured financially and that they will not suffer. The government will take care of them. But the very first day you die from the military, your family is removed from the barrack and nobody cares about them anymore. So many persons are not there. It's not that they don't want to join the military. But the appetite is not there because of the way the government will want to treat those who join the military.
How do we get that appetite back up? Because in all honesty, you know, when people make these claims, when someone dies in America, you know, when the soldier dies, the family, it's not exactly true. I'm not saying that, yes, there are no benefits. You know, maybe the family is not taking care of them. It's not like they're going to be living lavish lifestyles or maybe they'll be very super comfortable. No. There are some individuals, some veterans who have served America who are begging on the streets right now. Right now. I'm not making this up. Right now. But despite all of that, there's still that strong urge. There's that respect that the men and women in uniform, particularly the armed forces, get whenever they come in public. It's something that is so emotive. It's evocative. I've seen videos of airlines slashing, in some cases, allowing the military personnel to travel for free just because they are serving their country. I've seen videos of people giving firefighters extra meals just because they are wearing a fire service uniform and they know that this person is doing a job protecting them. Why wouldn't a 3-year-old say, "Daddy, I want to be a firefighter when I grow up"? If your son tells you this morning, "Daddy, I want to join the Nigerian army," what would be your response? When we come back, I get to hear from you right here on 92.3 Nigeria Info. Send your messages to 0809-030-6416.
Stay with us. Nigeria Info. We'll be back.
Headline News, Nigeria Info on
92.3. Headline News.
My name is Jude. This is Headline News on the nation's #1 talk news and sports radio station 92.3 Nigeria Info. Justice Simeon Amadi to be sworn in as Chief Judge of Rivers State today. Basic Education Certificate Examination to begin June the 1st. Delta State Government yet to receive Ibori loot returned to Nigeria by the United Kingdom. Benue State Governor Samuel Ortom says federal government's insistence on open grazing suggests hidden agenda. ASU President Biodun Ogunyemi alleges IPPIS payment platform is overridden with corruption. On the foreign scene, presidential election begins in Syria. George Floyd's sister boycotts meeting with U.S. President Joe Biden. In business, President Buhari to launch Made in Nigeria helicopter. In entertainment, Nollywood actress Ife Onwumene dies of cancer. In sports, Michelin midfielder Frank Onyeka eager to seal his place in Super Eagles midfield. The major news comes up your way at 12 midday. Stick around and join us then. To contact our newsroom, 0818 90,000 17, 0818 90,000 17. My name is Jude. Thank you for listening.
Information when you need it. News as it breaks. Plus a chance to talk about matters arising. For more you get on 92.3 Nigeria Info. Your number one talk, news and sports station.
Good morning, Jude. The truth of the matter is that if you are not from a certain part of the country, if you're not from the north, it is very difficult for you to pass, except you have a godfather in that particular sector. That's Basoj from Port Harcourt. Good morning. Welcome back to Hello Port Harcourt. We're talking about getting security exercises, security recruitment more attractive to Nigerians. Now, I started off by saying there was a time in this country where a lot of people claimed that individuals got into the police force, into the military, into the naval arm of the Nigerian military because they didn't have any other skill set, because they couldn't get a job. However, we know, or at least I like to believe a lot of people now know, that the military is not for people who really don't know anything. You were trained, you received some form of training formally and also informally. There are courses that are being taken the world over to improve the military in virtually every single sphere. So in the military, you have geologists, you have people who are going to fix computers, you have mechanics, you have engineers. That's why you have, I think it's called the Army Corps of Engineers. In America, there are some of the very best trained engineers available. The same can be said too of us here in Nigeria. At least I know two of my friends who are in the engineering corps in this country. And they are some of the finest gentlemen and military officers you would ever want to see. But what can be done to change the narrative in recent years from just getting into the military or getting to the security outfits because you don't have a job? A lot of people have made mention that it's because of this notion that you have individuals who are technically unfit to either be members of the Nigerian Police Force, members of the Nigerian Army, members of the Nigerian Navy or Air Force groups. They are unfit because the purpose that they have is solely for their stomach. They didn't have jobs. How else can we change that narrative? What can we do now to make the security as interesting and as attractive to Nigerians as any other profession? Join me this morning, 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003, 0817-923-0007, and then the female caller line is 0817-923-0009. Hello, Port Harcourt. Good morning.
Hello, sir.
Good morning to you.
Good morning. Making it attractive is what I cannot be able to define what we will do, or if we choose to do things right. But let me tell you this. In a recent time, about 2 or 3 years ago, one of my neighbors traveled. He said why they were coming and saw what was happening on the road. As they were discussing about it, little did they know that there was a soldier in the vehicle. And the person who came into the discussion and told them that he is from Sambisa Forest drama coming as of now. They told them what they were passing through there. He said that all of them, nobody in the vehicle that did not weep. Okay,
in such a circumstance, would that my neighbor encourage his child to be a soldier? I, in particular here, a friend of mine who resigned as a captain, he's practicing law now. We were discussing one day, he made one statement, only, let me put it there, Igbo man would be in the army. So, based on all these things, how would it be attractive to anybody who gets all these informations? And even when you read, if you read that Okaku, I read an article published by one Bonny guy as to for the reason they did overthrow. All he was talking about the Nigerian army, it took my mind back to that thing my friend said and other related stories about the army. So it is unfortunate.
It's unfortunate that people have that impression, and once again, I think like a message here, someone here saying the onus is on the government to give a clear representation of what these security services should be doing and how they recruit their members. If that is done, Jude, I assure you more people will want to get into the forces. But as said now, there's a lot of secrecy and a lot of corruption in the recruitment process. All right, let's get here now. Hello, Port Harcourt. Good morning.
Good morning, Port Harcourt.
Good morning to you. Welcome, please.
Yeah, my name is Ibiso.
Good morning, Ibiso.
Yes, my dad was an ex-military officer. My late dad. I grew up in the barrack. In those days, in the barrack, the way the military they are doing, you envy them to join. Because in the morning, when they go to work, they polish their shoe, their uniform, everything will be neat. And sometimes when the wife of the officers they want to go to market, maybe on Wednesday, there's a boat that will convey them to the market and bring them back. There is unity, everything is going well. But where some people are saying they don't want to join, since they start to post them to UN mission, some of them are going there. When they are coming back with huge amount of money. So others, the other people mindset now changed. Because some people used to lobby their way to go for that mission. But when they are coming back, they are coming with goods, come with different things. So those that are staying in the barrack, we say, next time I will lobby my way to go. So, and secondly, what worse thing is the politicians now worse thing is our security this thing. Because you see them, politicians are getting huge amount of money. And the military, the police, the DSS, those that are going to the war front are not getting it. So they are even, some people will even pay their guys to come to where they get money. A corporal, a class corporal will be driving different cars. Why a major or a captain? So you see that the politicians even politicize the security this thing. So everybody now, some people that are even joining the police or joining the military or the DSS, they are joining with your ulterior motive. Some of them want to join it to revenge of what happened in their family or what happened in their communities, to oppress the other people. Some of them join it to just make money. Some of them they are putting down that uniform. Because when somebody is putting on a military uniform, they do respect the person. So some of them want to get a uniform
is it respect?
Escort bunker, to escort badge, to make money. They are not going there to do this because the politicians, everybody spoil everything. Before military people, the little amount they are paying them, they are satisfied with this. They are living in the barrack. Everything is going well. There is unity there. But now, you just go to different barracks and ask whether there is unity. There is no unity because the Christians there are hating the Muslims in the barrack. There is no unity. The politicians are worsening the issue of. You can imagine a sergeant will be driving jeep, and the Oga is not driving jeep. The next time they will bring up guy back to the barrack, they will keep that guy and send someone that will go and bring it up for them. So the thing there is, let us go back to the drawing board. Give them what belongs to them. They will do the work perfectly. People will envy them. Like in the US, when you see a US military man coming to a bank, people will be clapping up for him. They will start giving him a standing ovation. But in Nigeria here, they will just don't mind them, not them. So you see that we've already spoiled the district. Go to DSS. Some people are qualified to join DSS. They will say that you are height. and you see that somebody that they employ, you are taller than that person, and you ask yourself why. So once they bring tribal sentiment, religious sentiment, ethnicity into the armed forces, the thing will not go well, and different things will continue to rubbish things will continue to happen there. So if they want to do everything to be okay, then go back to the drawing board. Do things now. Okay, do you believe you in the military era when you want to appoint a chief of army staff or whatever? If your politicians don't come and tell you that you appoint our person. No, they will, by merit, they will appoint different people to handle different battalions. But now, if you appoint a Rivers man, Igbo man will say, you have to appoint an Igbo man. Yoruba man will say, you have to appoint a Yoruba man. To dictate for the military. No, now. They should go back to the drawing board.
All right, they should go back to the drawing board. Thank you very much there, Ibi. So, good morning, Jude. The answer is very simple. A lot of Nigerian youths love this country and are ready to serve as soldiers or policemen, but they are not getting encouragement to do so. The attitude of the government towards security officials is very appalling. Besides, the incentives are not encouraging. Imagine one of the governors telling protesting teachers and pensioners that they are ghost workers. A lot has to be done. No insurance packages in case of any eventuality. CC from Owerri. Jude, if my son wants to join the army, I will support him. But for police, I will discourage him, but I will not stop him. Police have no job security with bad conditions of service. However, anybody that has no plan for himself will still suffer misfortune after retirement and if they lose their job. That's Joe. So even if you get there, at some point in time, you will retire. Are you going to retire with a lot of benefits? What plans do you have? Now, it's not unusual to have, I remember Bizumit mentioned a sergeant driving an SUV. If that sergeant has a wife or has a good business acumen and decides to invest or maybe has a business, I don't see any reason why he or she cannot drive any car he or she wants. Tell your story shortly. Hello, Port Harcourt. Good morning. Hello, good morning. Good morning.
Hello.
Please. Good morning. Hello, Port Harcourt.
Yes.
Good morning.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Good morning, please.
Good morning. My name is Eze.
Welcome, Eze.
Jude, the other sector to join in Nigeria now, as we are talking, is just the political sector, and that is all. Do you understand? If you join politics today, or you become a politician today, under X amount, you will be a billionaire, not even a millionaire. And if you want to join any other sector, if it is not affiliated to politics, just come to say a poor man. There is one retired Navy officer in my neighborhood. He said, everything about Nigeria is being subsidized by politicians. Even the military, everything. It is the politicians that control every sector, every single sector in Nigeria. It is the politicians that controls it. So you as a person, you don't even have a say. You don't even have the right about it. In fact, about anything. To understand. And then some people want to join the military and then they seek themselves or try to just position themselves with one big politician and then they begin to use you. You make money overnight. So that is that in Nigeria.
Right, thank you very much. Okay, let's get to WhatsApp. God's Time says, till Nigerian government starts getting things right on security, men can never get results in fight against terrorist Boko Haram or criminal elements in the country. Our leaders are the ones bringing the morale of our soldiers and police down. I personally believe that some of our top politicians are the ones sponsoring these terrorists and also giving them information about our security men. That concern has been reiterated or been aired more than a few times. I'm talking about the corroboration of these allegations. A lot of people have come forth and say, "Well, we heard this. That person did this. That person did that." All right. Despite the odds, so many Nigerians are desirous of joining the military, but only a few who are connected get the few slots available. It's not a case of not having a passion for the armed forces. The opportunity is not available. Onyebuchi from Obigbo. Okay. So there are Nigerians who still desires of joining the military, but it's the opportunity. The idea that if you are not connected, there are a few slots available. Hello, Port Harcourt. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Jude.
Good morning. Welcome, please.
There are numerous reasons I will not encourage anyone to join any of the forces. The foremost among them is what happened just of recent at the Limbo police station. Policemen were killed, and the governor went there and gave the wives of the deceased 20 million each. But the man got wounded, and there was a bullet in his body to be operated. The wife of that man and the brother came to your station here, and they cried before the commissioner was able to go to look at the man. So what will encourage someone to tell that person after the following day, join police, join this or that? The government are not taking care of the people. The sector is faulty. So things is wrong. So you don't know what to say, but there are a lot of reasons that people are being discussed on doing the same thing at a particular time. So when things are being set right, things can go the way it's supposed to be. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. Now, as we get on in the conversation, just take this as a food for thought, all right? I once met a man who once said, when you continue to speak evil, when you continue to speak negatively about something, there's a very low chance of anything good coming forth from it. So, now, once again, it's just my personal view. I'm not saying it's law. I'm not saying that it must work. It's just a suggestion. Now, recently, I have taken to greeting police officers and military personnel every time I see them. And I mean every time. And it's not the greeting of, oh, let me greet you so you don't give me frog jump. No. It's a greeting of appreciation. Pause and just listen. Just try it out. If we want change, yes, a lot of people saying the leaders must change, but why don't we from the bottom also start to change? Because we seem to be in the mindset of waiting for things to change without us changing. So, like I said, whenever I get to see them, I get to greet them. Good morning, sir. Good morning, madam. I hope you're well. Thank you. And I move on. Good morning. It doesn't matter where I meet them. It doesn't matter in what condition or what scenario I meet them. Good morning. And if you're observant, you get to see the tags. Personalize it. So if the person's name is Emeka Suleiman, good morning, Emeka Suleiman. How are you doing, sir? The person responds. I'm not saying this so that you go and join the military. No. I'm saying this because it might just be a good way to start to, as you were, tear down these walls that separate all of us, particularly with our perception and view of these individuals. They are first and foremost Nigerians. Nobody was born with a uniform on their back. They all grew up and wore those uniforms. So that's just an aside. Just have that in the back of your mind. Try it out. Offer a greeting. Hello, good morning, good afternoon. How are you doing? Just try that. Hello, Potako, good morning.
Yeah, this is Mr. Zion. Good morning to you.
Good morning, welcome, please.
I will encourage any and every Nigerian to join the military or the security system. Through my influence, some people are now in one or two of those security agencies serving this country. Year 2000 or 1999, the encroachment of politics into our security system bastardized everything, frustrated the system. To a point, a senator asked Slot to join Nigerian Navy. House of Assembly member have slots to join CSS or FFS as for known then. And when you keep having slots, recruiting people who are not self-motivated, what do you cause to the system? You kill the system. A lot of Nigerians apply to be recruited into the Nigerian army. When they go to the recruitment center, no paramount ruler stood for them. Because according to the filling of those forms, recommendation, a paramount ruler. So what about me that have no link to the paramount ruler? I have the love to serve this country. You forsake me, or you forsook me, and took somebody from the paramount ruler slot. And this paramount ruler slot only give to somebody one notorious guy is afraid of in that community. Who will not oppose his throne? He gave that guy that slot. What will come out of it? He will become one of those crackheads in the system. Until we all take this passion to belong and join these services, we will keep having problems. Just like this cliche, politics is a dirty game. Clap for yourself. He says the politics is a dirty game, right? And you are lying for dirty people into the business, right? What will they do? They will give you dirty policies that will dirty your life. But if you look at it, that no matter how it is, I am going there to sanitize the political environment. No matter what you are going to lose or lose, you stand on your ground. You will gradually change it. If 360 Nigerians can decide to vie for the House of Assembly, who have a common goal to sanitize the system, the truth is this: we are in this state because of the political environment. The political environment, which is the governance or government. So no matter how we shout and preach, except we change our attitudes to correct things or write things right, we'll keep having problems. And within me, Mr. Zion, I'm not happy the way it is. Can we for once stand up and change the narrative? I knew the country my father told me about. I knew the country my father fought for as an German. I knew the country he handed over to me. And as I'm seeing what is going on, I am afraid what I'm going to tell my children. Because the story will start from what my father told me. Is it not so? Before 1960, during 1960s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and now 2000, I will imagine what my children will ask me. Was your father running up and down, Daddy? Why are you and I? Why are we running up and down? So,
all right, that's a very elaborate way to look at this, and if anything, posterity will ask us this question. We'll take our final break as we wrap up our conversations this morning. I get to read messages from our WhatsApp platform. Don't go anywhere.